Yan, yan, sabi ko sa'yo.
So we're here on another episode of My Couch Talks. So I'm gonna feature this time our experience in Russia because we've been to Russia and I've already produced the first episode of our experience in Russia, and I think it's very beneficial for us to at least discuss our experience in Russia and how was it, and also very important on how to secure an e-visa. So guys, are you ready?
Yeah.
Alan, Bon, are you ready? Yes. So both of them are together with me on this adventure, so hopefully you're gonna get inputs, learning, and tips as well if you are planning to go to Russia. So let's start. Before we jump on the topic about e-visas and our experience, so what made the decision about Russia?
Ask Bon.
Why Russia?
Ask Bon.
It was my birthday. Actually, it was not really my idea, but they wanted to go to Russia, and it's just timely na the Philippines has the opportunity.
Yay.
Because Russia opened the doors for the e-visa for the Filipino passport holders all over the world. So it was easy, and then it was timely, so why not Russia? And experiencing Russia during winter is good, although it was not the proper winter we had, but
maybe
it's a good opportunity to experience Russia during winter.
A very cheap ticket going to Russia from London, so we only secured like 36 or 35 euros.
Like 35.
It's like 35 euros.
If you go to Russia, the tickets are just seasonal in other countries as well. So if you go high season or a peak season, tickets would be very expensive.
Right.
So maybe if you wanna go visit Russia, I think it's better you go visit during the cold season, because I think that's what you call it, the low or the non-peak season. Yeah, non-peak season for travelers. But if you want to experience Russia in summer, that's fine as well. It's okay, but the expenses that you will really depend on how you travel anyways.
Be very careful as well in choosing the season where you wanted to go to Russia. So very important, if you know what you wanted to experience. Is it summer? Is it winter? So with us, it's winter, so you know it's really dependent. It's really depending on the season and depending on the ticket prices actually.
But I think no matter the season is winter, summer, spring, or autumn, basta we have good friends to be with.
Yes,
it's good.
Let's go to the application for e-visa. So the good news about e-visa is that it's free, so you don't need to pay for it. Yeah, you just head off to
it depends actually.
Really?
Yeah, it depends
on
which passport you are.
Really?
Yeah.
It was free. So now we're going to the topic about e-visa. So how to secure an e-visa going to Russia. So this time it's much easier because we just only need to secure an e-visa, which we need to like process online, and then once released or once decided, then you can print it off and then you can present it to the immigration and you can enter Russia. So that's very easy. Any thoughts? Any thoughts? Oh! Yeah. So Alan is like researching. Alright, so
yeah, so 10 sites available to visit
Russia.
But yeah, to Russia, but we chose Saint Petersburg and Leningrad
Oblast. So
Oblast.
I think it's very dependent on which city you wanted to go. So e-visas is probably very regional. So when you wanted to go to Russia, make sure to know which city you wanted to go, because you know each city you have to secure a different e-visa. So it's not like it's not like in any other cities like Schengen visa, wherein one visa you can enter a lot of different European countries. But with Russia, it's very dependent on the region.
So you can check it online.
Perfect.
Yeah. I don't know if it's clear, but
I'm gonna put the link actually on the comments below for you guys to like check on if you wanted to apply
for proper guidance. You can log on to evisasrussia.com. There are a lot of steps, guidelines, and also the requirements are there. What do you need to do? What specific passport you have, and on this specific passport, what are the requirements you will have to provide. But in terms of Philippine passport, it's just so easy. It's just gonna be taking you 4 days only. It's free. At the same time, it's the requirements are easy to comply. You just have to scan and upload, and then that's it. You just have to provide your updated details on your passport, and yeah, that's it. Pretty much. Yeah, and then the photos as well.
Actually, you have to have your tickets going to and back to your home country from Russia to, like for example for us in London, then London back to Russia, and then you also need to secure the address of where you're gonna stay. Very important, the accommodation, because they will really, you need to supply that one online, and your passport details as well. That's so.
But to be fair, if you really wanted to apply Russia, it's not like the Shenzhen that you have to provide or you have to upload the return tickets. It's just that you will on the application online, you will just have to encode the starting date and your the date that you're traveling to Russia and the date you were traveling out of Russia, and then that's it. They usually provide you with 8 days maximum of stay, but the visa is valid for 30 days, so it doesn't necessarily mean that this is your date. If in case you would not be able to go on this particular date, it's still okay as long as the visa is valid for 30 days. But if you went out of Russia, you cannot go back on the same visa because it's just single entry. You have to reapply and go again on the details of how to apply at the Evisa and in Russia. So as evisasrussia.com is helpful for you to have a guide in applying in Evisa for Russia.
And just like anybody, the passport should be within 6 months or more than 6 months of validity.
So now let's go to some tips that we can give to you whilst it's your first time to go to Russia. So with the safety, guys, so when we arrive there in Russia, how do you think is the safety in Russia?
It's pretty safe in Russia. Like, as long as you know how to communicate to the locals. Although there is a language barrier, like because we have this prejudice that they might not communicate with you because you're a foreigner, because they're Russian. No, they're pretty accommodating. They are so kind and friendly. It's how other people what do you call that? View about Russian, but they are really they look tough, but they're really friendly. They're helpful. So first and foremost, you just have to communicate to the locals. Ask if you don't know. They will try to find ways. If they will try their best as well to help you. There are a lot of people who would find informations for you as well and suggest things that you have to do or things that you need to do in order for you to do what you need to do in Russia. So it's pretty okay to mingle with the locals.
What's your take on safety?
Safety, it's fine actually. It's pretty safe because you can see some soldiers walking around.
Exactly. That's the thing as well. You feel safe there.
I would like to have a picture with them, but they said no.
Yeah, I think it's not allowed. I think you have to have to also be very careful and sensitive with your environment because that's Russia, and coming to Russia, it's a whole new different world out there, and they have different cultures.
And you don't know the rules, literally. Personal space should be there.
Exactly.
But generally, it's pretty the same in all countries. I mean, there are rules and regulations, all aspect of Russia and the Russian people. It's really amazing, and the experience is really nice. Especially if you are and it's your first time going to Russia.
Communication, that's
exactly, communication.
If Ken said that you should take your part, you can have your part as well by having or using Google Translate.
Google Translate.
Yes, Google Translate.
Because actually, when we first arrived there, it's very difficult for us. It was a struggle because our driver doesn't even speak a single English. So very, very important. But the thing is, I realized that it's not really that's what you call that one?
Barrier?
Yeah, the barrier. It's not really like that.
No, because he was pretty helpful. Yeah. He didn't really understand.
Exactly. He tried his best.
They understand English, but he cannot really speak that well and straight.
I would say.
But they were trying to really help. So, and when I had my time that I was lost there,
he was
in some point, like, oh my God, I was locked outside. The locals on the particular building, they helped me to get in, so it's just
a plus point.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. So after safety, we go to what to see in Russia. So in Russia there are a lot of different landmarks, which is, let's say, not really so different with other European countries. If you've been to Europe, there would be like similar structures down there, but definitely it's also very grand. They're so colossal. All the landmarks in there, I've never seen so much palaces in a certain country. There's like one palace, and you know, Saint Petersburg alone is a really big city.
For you to enjoy Russia, siguro strategically, you place your accommodation in the city center. Because in the city center,
It's just
the
walking
landmarks
distance.
are walking
Walking
distance.
distance.
Yeah. It's like 10 to 15 minutes
10 to
walk.
15
probably.
minutes.
And
Yeah.
it's good for your health.
Yeah, exactly. And also with the cost, talking about our accommodation and you know the strategic location of where you wanted to stay. With regards to the cost, don't be so worried about it because Russia is pretty much affordable. You know,
Yeah.
I mean it's not too expensive as what you think it is.
You don't have to do the metros,
Yeah.
but if you would like to
Experience.
experience metro, it's just okay. It's also
Like, maybe
cheap.
for one day you can.
And every metro stations is a different story. It's a different theme. It's like walking or like
You can have a tour,
traveling.
actually. Yeah.
One of the deepest metros or
In the world.
underground transportation station in the world. So you
where
have to check it
in
out.
the world can you see a station wherein there are chandeliers
Yeah.
underground?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So that's really amazing, you know. It's very, very interesting. Actually, Russia is so interesting in
And
terms of the landmarks.
in
Yeah.
addition to Von, I prefer to have the taxi instead of the
yeah, it's
metro.
easy.
Because it's point to point. If you're rushing and you wanted to go
save
to
time.
to save time, point to point, it's like
Yes, it's
Yeah.
you won't get lost as long as you have this internet connection. And
Yeah.
by the way, maybe
Yes.
it's helpful that you buy a SIM from the
Yes!
Yes.
Perfect.
Although if you have this mobile Wi-Fi or mobile data, you can use them from your home country, but it will charge you like us
A lot.
three here. But the network here in the UK does not really go with the Russian network, so we did have to buy a very very cheap SIM, and then it's a very cheap
It's called
unlimited
it's like a
data.
B-Mobile.
Yeah.
Beeline.
Beeline. It's like Beeline or
So
B-Mobile.
it's unlimited data. You can
For only
have
12
Wi-Fi
pounds for 5 days.
6
days.
pounds
6 pounds
for
for
12 days.
Okay. Imagine 6 days for 12
and that's
days.
unlimited data.
Yeah, you can have
And
internet anywhere you
the
go.
network is really good, so you don't have a problem. If you have internet, if you have phone with you, you can speak English or you can communicate, and yeah, that's pretty all. Like you can survive Russia. It's really really nice. You have to experience.
Speaking of landmarks, so with entrance fees with landmarks, it's also very cheap in comparison to other European cities. So
Yeah.
don't be so worried also about entrance fees. And also if you are a student, bring your IDs with
Bring
you.
your ID, yeah.
Because you will have a lot lot of discounts from it.
Not just discounts, but free.
Free actually. They had free actually to go.
You can have free
what you call it?
access
Going
from
to
other
museums,
landmarks. Not all,
palaces.
but
And one thing I think about the most famous about Russia is their ballet.
Yeah,
Russian ballet.
that one is so expensive.
That
so-
one is the most expensive, I think.
but we didn't have to do.
I know, that's very
We didn't have
expensive.
time, but we didn't.
But
have
if you're
time.
rich,
If you're rich and then you have
Why
like
not?
you have
But
enough
it's
budget
not
for
that
that.
expensive though. It's not that
70
expensive.
pounds?
No.
No.
70 pounds is not
is
that
it 70
expensive.
pounds?
Yeah, around more than even 100 plus.
100.
Yeah, but with a world-class ballet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Because
ballet,
140
it's-
pounds.
It's not that expensive if you plan to
Yeah,
see.
if you really wanted to really
Yeah.
experience
Because
ballet.
if you compare it to like musicals are 50, 60 pounds. So like Russia is known to have this
Yeah, it's the
performing
center.
art.
Yeah, it's the
So
center.
it's really
The center of
okay,
opera
so-
and
But if you are into that, so that should be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, why not?
you can actually, but just book ahead because you need to pre-book all your tickets because you can't just go there and then turn up on the same day where the show will be held. So you have to pre-book all your tickets if you wanted to go to shows like ballet or if you wanted to go to operas.
No.
Actually,
Fine.
we're feasting with food down there. So there's we order a lot of foods and sometimes the waiters are sometimes looking at us very
Are you really gonna eat
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
It's good for 10 people,
Yeah,
but you're
I
only 5 there.
exactly. It was a lot. We ordered always
Servings
a
are
lot.
good actually. Servings are good.
Exactly.
It's not the most, I would say, amazing food I had with all my
But-
travels, but it's one of the cheapest food servings.
Don't miss the caviar though.
Well,
Don't miss the caviar though if you
and
wanted to
and,
experience
and their
Russia.
local donut.
Yeah, pishki. Yeah, the pishki. That's very important.
It's a local donut, but it's good
Yeah,
to
it's so
eat
good.
after all the long travels. Yeah, it's just so good.
It's like Shapoy.
really cheap.
Shapoy in the Philippines. Final thoughts about Russia, guys. So if one of our viewers is like really planning to like really go to Russia,
Go for it.
Go for it.
What is your like final
Why not?
tips for them to
Why
like
not?
really, you know,
Just
go into
plan your trip
Russia?
ahead. Whenever you need to apply for a visa, read a lot about the visa. You don't want to be denied. There are also cases that they were
Exactly, that's the
denied
thing.
because of some misinformation. So what I've said, you can Google it. Actually, it's not very difficult to search about the e-visa requirements according to your passport. But for Filipinos, it's just easy. You just lodge your visa online, then you wait for 4 days. It even came out 3 days for us. So it's just easy. So yeah.
Alan,
Yeah. For me, I really enjoyed the
experience.
experience going to Russia. It's less expensive compared to my other Euro travels there. But yeah, if you're with good friends, it would be cheaper. Yeah, because the expenses will be divided.
If you go there by groups rather than like solo, it will be cheaper.
Yeah.
Because you can divide all the expenses actually from accommodation to your taxi, you know, ride.
Don't worry, Airbnb is also working in Russia.
Yeah.
Exactly. So guys, yes.
There are cheap hostels, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's okay.
Just like ours. And I think springtime, just what the locals said.
Yeah, that's
it's
what they
better
said to
go
us
there.
actually. Yeah.
Maybe we can go back to Russia.
Yeah, anytime.
Anytime if you want.
Just like over the weekend. Let's like
As long as you have this cheap tickets.
why no? We can book 30 pounds.
Oh my God! Seriously, wow!
Just over the weekend. Let's try it there.
Exactly, why not?
Oh my God!
It's unlimited anyway.
So with me, final tips for travelers who wanted to go to Russia. So one tip when you go to the airport, there's a lot of security. So just be patient. If you've got like all the documents, if you're confident with your information,
Don't forget your e-visa.
there wouldn't be any problem actually. The visa, print that one. You should have a print out of it. Don't just use your phone and just let the immigration officer see it. You have to like really print it because that's very very important. And also stick with the days that you're gonna stay there. Don't overstay because it's very very
You're
difficult
gonna
when you
have a
overstay
problem.
because it's so difficult. You need to go appear in the court and all of this stuff, and you don't want that to happen because you
Just
don't want
read
to
the
hassle.
e-visa regulation, you'll be
Yeah,
fine.
you don't want any stress for yourself when you go to Russia. So just relax, enjoy the experience if it's your first time, and I'm very very sure that you will really enjoy as well. Same as what we did when we were in Russia.
We might be back.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll be back.
We will be back.
So guys, thank you so much for staying with us on this vlog, this edition of My Couch Talk. I hope you learned something from us with our adventures, with our tips on e-visa, and as well as our experience in Russia. And I know it might be a different experience for you in different cities, but we're just talking about the experience we've had in Saint Petersburg, wherein Saint Petersburg is the main city that's we've discovered. So if ever you will probably go to other cities, it might be a different experience. But at least we give you, or we share to you very important tips as well as advices and on how to go about with your plan to travel to Russia. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, itKENbeyouradventures, and hit the subscribe button as well.
If you really enjoyed, drop some comments below if you've been to Russia, if you can add on some your experience and some questions we can maybe Ken can answer. So thank you for joining us in this session. If you like it, press the like button and comment, share, and subscribe.
Yes! If we made this adventure fun and exciting, it can be your adventures. Bye!
Bye.